He's been a frontrunner for some time, but now businessman Donald Trump appears certain to be the Republican Party's nominee for U.S. president. Based on surveys by the Associated Press, Trump has earned the required number of delegates to clinch his party's nomination. The party formally chooses its nominee at a convention to be held in mid-July. What does this mean to the international community? For more on that, we go live to our White House correspondent, Jessica Stone. She's here on the set. You can explain it all for us.
It's pretty crazy, though, Mike, I got to tell you. There's no question that it is absolutely rare for a candidate to have no political experience going into American elections. In fact, the last time this happened was back in 1952, when General Dwight Eisenhower, you remember, more than a generation ago, won the Republican nomination and ultimately the White House. Obviously, he rode a wave of patriotism after World War II, which gave him lots of government experience, albeit maybe not political experience. Now, Donald Trump, for his part, accepting his place in the nominating process while giving international leaders new concerns. In an energy policy speech on Thursday, Trump said he would cancel the Paris Climate Agreement and also renew efforts to build an oil pipeline from Canada to the U.S. Gulf Coast. Of course, Beijing and Washington putting a lot of political capital and time and effort, leading the way to reaching the historic Paris Climate Agreement last year. That cuts global greenhouse gas emissions. Canada's new Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, he actually opposes the oil pipeline Trump's talking about, which is known as the Keystone Pipeline. And his predecessor was a crucial backer of that project. Now, speaking at the G7 in Japan, U.S. President Barack Obama said world leaders assembled there are rattled by the possibility of a President Trump, accusing him of being ignorant of world affairs. Here's Trump's response.
When you rattle someone, that's good, because many of the world, as you know, many of the countries in our world, a beautiful world, have been absolutely abusing us and taking advantage of us. So if they're rattled in a friendly way, we're going to have great relationships with these countries. But if they're rattled in a friendly way, that's a good thing.
In a friendly way. Of course, one group that Trump still needs to win over ahead of the November presidential election is Hispanic voters. Among Latinos, Trump is currently polling 39 percentage points behind his likely opponent, Hillary Clinton, and that's according to the latest Fox News poll. Mike, Trump obviously, as you know, has angered a lot of leaders in Mexico, including the foreign minister, even the president, with his pledges to build that wall between the U.S. and Mexico and get Mexico to pay for it.
Well, let's find out. Is Hillary Clinton rattled, or reacting at least?
Definitely reacting. Already been using what he said on the trail against him, emphasizing some of his more controversial comments about encouraging Japan and the Republic of Korea to develop nuclear weapons and pulling U.S. troops off the ground in allied nations. She will seek to paint Trump as unpredictable in the general election. Trump, for his part, he's already criticizing her for her efforts to use a private email server against U.S. policy when she was U.S. Secretary of State.
It's already interesting. It's going to get more so, I'm sure.
You bet.
Thanks so much.